One of the greatest batters of the modern era and a man with 2.2 million more Twitter followers than me.
You don't do it.
I've got a couple. Kevin Pietersen, welcome. I told you I wouldn't embarrass you.
Yeah. You almost had a guest leave before I even came on. That ridiculous dancing.
Style.
Yeah, that was bad.
What country were you in?
That was in Sri Lanka in the 2012 T20 World Cup, and I did it in the subcontinent thinking that it wouldn't make anywhere else. And, I woke up the next morning and all my buddies were saying, "What on earth were you doing last night?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "It's been on Sky all morning."
Well, Brett Lee's got a Bollywood movie coming out in June. Would you consider maybe doing a Bollywood movie, KP?
No. I think I've made one big mistake there, and I don't think I'll be making a mistake.
I thought it was the Bollywood Blues Brothers. You and Brett Lee.
But with social media, you actually can't do anything, and you're a champion of it. You can't do anything anywhere without it suddenly being in the spotlight, can you?
Oh, well, I think you've got to view everybody as a journalist these days, and that's how I look at it. So, yeah.
How many?
I go out for dinner this evening.
How many tweets have you deleted? Have you written a few and gone, nah, I better not do that?
Oh, there was one about selection in 2009 which caused a bit of a stir, which I deleted, but I think it had about 1,000 retweets before I which caused a little bit of a
And do you read them? I mean, when they get personal, do you read them and take them on board?
I don't read them when I've played a horrendous shot in a game. I probably just let it go for about 24 hours. Everyone just calms down, and then I'll just slowly ease back into the mentions. But the personal stuff is just... It is what it is, it's sad.
I'd prefer to be abused the old-fashioned way, just, people yelling at you in the street rather than doing the tweet form. It's terrific that way.
Yeah, I've had that in Australia.
All right, I want you to just have fun. Join in with this segment as we talk about the cricket and a few other things that I know you're interested in. Before I get there, just a couple of specific questions I need to ask you. Now, you and I have dealt with this a little bit at the end of last week. Of course, you are part of Fox Sports Cricket World Cup coverage. Now, as I understand, today is quite an important day in terms of what you are planning to do, a comeback to the England cricket team and internationally.
Today?
Well, I think there's a meeting at Lord's, is there not? A meeting at Lord's where they're going through the detritus of the English campaign for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Will you be mentioned...
That won't take long time. It's already over.
Yeah, it is. Will you be mentioned in dispatches there, and what's the latest you've heard?
I haven't heard anything. I know as much as you know. But I also know, having read some of the stuff that's been going on, that there is a meeting at Lord's today. And I just think it's basically a few of the hierarchy trying to find out exactly what went over the last 6 weeks, or probably less than 6 weeks. Should have been 6 weeks, ended up being 2.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You're part of the English team. You're then out of the team. You desperately want to be back in. And let's be honest, their performance in the World Cup was appalling.
Yeah.
Did that hurt you to watch? Were you sad to see it, or is there a part of you going, look, to be honest, that works in my favour?
I've been really sad since goodness, the middle of last year, when the likes of Joss Butler, the Joe Roots, all my buddies on the side, the team wasn't performing as well as I would love to have seen the team performing, because actually I've got so many good buddies on that side that when they lose, it hurts me. I had my issues with an ex-coach, with the board members or with the top of the board, and they don't have anything to do with the actual team and my buddies. So when they don't do well, and I see guys like Finney coming back and doing really well, and they're not going so well and getting smashed all over Eden Park, it hurts me. When Ravi Bopara plays all the one-day games leading up to the first game of the World Cup against Australia, and that night gets dropped, it hurts me, because these are my buddies.
What do you miss about the international stage?
I've been very lucky to play tournaments, the global tournaments, the IPLs, the Big Bashes. So I still get that sort of get up and go that the morning gives you before a big game, and you know that you've got a big crowd. But I like to have a lot of that, and I've only got months or a couple of months a year of it. And I mean, playing for England is very special, been special for me. I've had some amazing days playing for England. And who knows, I might get a couple more. And
so, KP, what can you control at your end, though? What can you control at your end? Play county cricket, play one-dayers, give yourself a big chance to get selected in the Ashes against the Aussies.
Yeah, and that could be a bit of an issue, because I've grown such a good little rapport with Australia over the last couple of months. You're going to start hunting me again in 2 months.
As soon as you walk on the field, that first little millimetre of your shoe...
We're done. We're done.
But see, KP, can I just say, I mean, we've seen the success of Darren Lehmann with what Buff's done to the Australian team.
Amazing.
More relaxed in the change rooms. Is this what What's your overhaul of the English cricket team?
Absolutely.
What do they need to do?
I mean, that's exactly right. It's right on cue. They need to get a much more relaxed atmosphere. I talk about, and we talked about social media at the top of the show. Because of social media, because every single person that views a sportsman now as a piece of meat, we view everybody as a journalist. So we're so scared of doing anything or going anywhere occasionally. So what you need to do, and I think that you need to really get this into sporting teams now, which I think Buff's done, create a family home atmosphere in that little bubble, so that when you go into that bubble, you love that bubble and you want to be in that bubble. And it's the most relaxed, no-pressure environment. Obviously, you've got pressure because you have to go and perform on a sports field. And if you don't perform, you're out. And
not just social media, but worldwide. You've got fans, you know, obviously you've got your admirers, but you've got some knockers as well. What would you say to those people that say you're 34, you're going on 35 in June, you know, you haven't played international cricket for 14 months, your best days are behind you. What would you just say to those people?
I don't think my best days are behind me. I thought I batted as well as I've ever batted in my career in Australia a few months ago. I think that's nonsense. I reckon I've still got quite a few Test hundreds left in me.
There is somebody who I think agrees with you, because it's always difficult to get a quote out of Piers Morgan. He did manage to tweet his support for your call. Yeah, look at this. It's bizarre, isn't it?
Who are you talking about?
Piers Morgan, which are the only nice, gentle, happy campers in the dressing room strategy. It sucks. I like that idea. He wants in-your-face winners. Is exactly what any competitive team needs.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think what the previous board let themselves down with saying the team atmosphere is good. They need just good blokes in the dressing room. Whereas I know teams around the world at the moment, there's blokes in there that can't stand each other. I know the greatest Australian side, there were blokes in there that couldn't stand each other. But when you go over the line, you perform and you do the business because that's your job and that's your work. I don't stand there, or somebody doesn't stand there and drop a catch off a bloke because he doesn't want him to be successful or get a wicket. You go there, you do a job, and you can perform. So,
Piers, he's not coming back to cricket though, is he? I mean, Brett Lee's finished. He's done. He's done. Starkey. But what I love, KP, 6'7", 90 miles an hour, new ball swing, good Yorkers at the death from over and around the wicket. Starc.
I think, around the wicket, the way that he's bowling the sort of outswinging around the wicket Yorker, a la Wasim Akram from all those years ago. And if you can bowl anywhere half as decent as him, you're going to have a pretty good career.
You've faced him a few times. How do you rate him?
I smashed him.
Next question.